and welcome out to another 2026 softball preview. This is actually our kickoff interview of this, and what a better place to be than down in the parish and with our dear friend Thomas Scully, who is the new head coach of a Vols Charter, the Lady Vikings. And Coach, welcome.
Well, thank you, Doug, for having us on today.
So, how does it feel being the leadoff hitter now? You've got to set the tone in this one.
Well, I don't know. I was the leadoff, but not for very long. So I'll do my best and try to get this thing going for the 2026 season. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Great job. We enjoyed the work that you did with 446 and football and in the Gridiron Bowl there. Did a wonderful job. And now you get to kind of settle into what it is that you're about, and that's coaching softball.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I appreciate that. Not being able to coach football for the first time in a long time. I did have a little, it was a little withdrawals, but you guys bringing me on board and being able to be a part of 446 Sports this football season was wonderful. And we are looking forward to a great season here at the Vols Charter. And man, we appreciate you guys just even having us on here.
Well, we're looking forward to a great season and following you guys. How did the move out to a Vols Charter come about? Because last time we checked in with you, you were assisting out at Pineville and doing some stuff over there. So how did the move to a Vols Charter come about?
Well, a good friend of mine that actually is the dean of students here, kind of handles the high school end of it. Lori Thames reached out to me and, was very persistent in me coming here and taking over for Coach Darlene Wiley, who was here for 3 years, who is the former Buckeye coach. She was ready to truly retire. And so she called me and offered me an opportunity to come out. And, at first I kind of declined and said, no, I'm good where I'm at. I'm close to home. And, finally it just worked out. At the end of the day, it's always God's plan, and it worked out. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to be a Viking and look forward to this 2026 season.
Look, it is indeed a blessing. And so when we caught up with you first over the summer, you had just met a lot of the girls that were out there when you were in those summer leagues that were around at Tioga and at Pineville, those places. So tell us a little bit about the time from there to where you're at now with them.
Well, when I got here, we had about 24 players. We have a couple of junior high kids that are a part of the high school program. But the biggest draw for me to come here was the developing of the junior high program. So we were very fortunate when I got here. We had over 75 girls in our program. And so we were able to cut that down to a manageable number. But what we've done with the high school since August, and again, this being my first time to ever have an off season and focus only on softball, we were able to develop some strength, a lot of footwork, a lot of fundamentals, and really and truly, what we also did was we implemented our standard and what it's going to be like and what the expectations of these young girls, what they were, going to experience with me coming in and being able to add a coach to our staff. And we're very fortunate. We have one senior. We have 7 juniors, 2 sophomores, 10 freshmen, and 2 8th graders that'll be on this 2026 roster. So we have a lot of youth. And so we really had to basically start from scratch and just kind of implement our standard.
Look, that's an interesting note on so many young players that are coming in. Tell us about some of those, your senior, and some of those standouts that you expect that will become common names for all of us.
Well, the junior class is very strong. They were very fortunate. A lot of those people were able to start as sophomores. But, I've got my one senior, Mia Wiley, who's really going to be the leader of this team. And then it goes to Ellie Richey, who is a returning all-district player. Olivia DeSalle, who is not only a softball player, but a basketball player. She was an all-district person as well. Chloe Bernard was also all-district. Lillian Dozat, who is our pitcher. She's a lefty. Shy Whittington. So we've got a lot of juniors, Madison McNeil, a lot of these people. But, then we've got an 8th grader who's really an exceptional player in Janiyah. And Janiyah does a phenomenal job. And she's going to be a huge asset to us for our future. And she also is a dual athlete. She plays basketball as well. So we've got a lot of dual athletes. I actually have 5 of them that not only play softball, but they also play basketball. And out of those ones that play, 3 of them are definitely going to probably start for us.
And of course, basketball is still a little bit of time to go. But let me point out, folks that may not have noticed what just happened right there in your professionalism. You've not been with this program very long, and you're rattling off names like you've been there forever. That shows the pro that you are, coming in and just immersing yourself in this.
Well, I felt bad because I was trying to think of Jania's last name. Jania Heath is her last name, and you're going to hear that name. She's a top 5 prospect in her class already. In the travel ball world. So she's got the tools, and again, we're going to build around her. And then we've got a 6th grader that's a really good standout in Lucy Saldany. And then, my coach that I brought on, the coach that I was able to bring on, Lauren Broussard, her daughter actually was at Bunkie, and we've been able to get Jaden over here. So Jaden is a 7th grader. So, our 7th and 8th grade class is going to be very strong, but our 5th and 6th grade as well. I mean, we've got some really good players coming in. And so, like I said, when I said it was a blessing to have this opportunity, it truly is. And so, yeah, it's fun right now. They've put in a lot of work. I got to tip my hat to them over the break. We had a couple volunteer practices, and we all showed up. Everybody showed up. We ran a few days of mini camps out here. So it's been really, really neat and interesting to see how they are adjusting to the culture of what we're trying to create here.
Coach, you talked about the younger players that are in there, and folks on the outside will go, how are you going to compete against juniors and seniors and sophomores and all of that in high school with such younger players? But your career has been built around using younger players to play and competing at a high level.
It has, and been very blessed everywhere I've been. Sacred Heart, Menard, and of course last year at Pineville with Allison Fry and that group. And just learning from all the coaches that I've been able to be around and be a part of, and either been on my staff, because I've always learned from even my assistant coaches. They've always taught me something. But I think the biggest thing about being here is letting these girls understand that it doesn't matter what grade you're in, how hard do you want to work to get on this field and have an opportunity to be in that 9 or that 10 that we're going to put on that field every game. So again, when you open it up that way, you have a lot more kids that become really bought into what you're trying to put out on the field and what you're trying to create. And what we're trying to create is an opportunity for not only success, but for a legacy, and to build a legacy. And that's kind of been our theme word here. We're creating a legacy at Vols Charter. We're not just creating a program.
Look, that is such deep wisdom too, and I love it. Folks, again, there's a difference between a team and a program, and you guys are building that legacy that you talk about, in that program that you talk about. I just hope the people that are around that school understand that what it brings. And you talked about them learning you and your culture, what it is that you're bringing in, and that is that tradition of winning games and winning championships.
It is. And, again, I've always told them this too. It's, I don't always look at the record. I always look at how we're going to finish. We know where we need to start, but how are we going to finish? And that's kind of what we've done with this mindset in the way we've kind of started this. We went back to all the way to not using gloves when I got here. And so we've really broken it down. And believe it or not, sometimes we're out here with wiffle bats, and we're just trying to get them to understand technique and again, being around people that are very good, that are winners, like the St. Thomas Moores and the North DeSotos and the Calvarys and all those coaches, being able to spend time with them on the phone or be able to go to their campus and see how they do things. I've been able to do that, and I've been very fortunate to be able to have that opportunity. So I take all that wisdom that I've learned, and I'm trying to bring that here and create that, not only just here at a Vols Charter, but we're also trying to do it for this parish. I think Marksville's had some success. Bunkie's always had success. Coach Caitlin Hillman does a phenomenal job at Bunkie, and she's built that tradition, and she's been here. So what we're trying to do is just make this parish even stronger, and let everybody know that softball is alive and well here in the Vols Parish as well.
We got to go out and visit with Coach Hillman out at Bunkie last year, and their solid third baseman Ava Webb is out there, and we'll be back out there again. And she's slated to be one of these interviews. But you're right, that close knit community creates some great matchups that folks need to come out and watch too.
Yeah, and what's interesting is over the summer, we play at Marksville during the summer, and the first time I went to Marksville, I showed up, and we had a JV game and then the varsity game. Well, I had some kids that were working at the field, so I stayed back. And then lo and behold, when I get there, it looked like a playoff game. It was just us playing in a summer ball, but our stands were packed on our side. The chairs were lined up from the concession to the dugout. And you look over there on Marksville side, and it's the same thing. We probably had 200 people out there for a summer league game. And, we played a few games of Rapides, and it was the same thing. And, I failed to mention Rapides, even though they're in, Rapides High School, even though they're in Rapides Parish, they're not far from us. And it was unbelievable to see the people in the community support for not only just your school, but for the parish itself. And so, yeah, a lot of great things coming here. And again, when you think about it, it's a 40-minute ride for me. So we're really not that far away. And to think that this parish is so rich in or creating a rich history in softball right now.
Well, Coach, I love it and can't wait to get down there. Let's take a look at the upcoming 2026 season. You guys know, we know that there are a lot of tournaments early on. What does the first part of the season look like for you?
Well, the first part of the season, we'll head over to we'll actually play in Pineville's tournament. We'll be in a Tioga's tournament. We also are going to be in a couple tournaments, Buckeye. But what I did was I scheduled a trip down to Sulphur, and I did that for a purpose and for a reason. Last year, these young ladies didn't make the playoffs. And so my first question to them was, had they ever been to Sulphur? And they said no. And I said, well, for you to understand what Sulphur's about, because that really is the end of the rainbow. And right. So for them to understand what it's about, I called Coach Brooke Davy at Sulphur High School, and she got us into their tournament. And so we're going to make a trip down to Sulphur, and they're going to see what it's like to play their pre-end of the season tournament. But, to be able to visualize that goal and to be able to dream about it, you got to be able to get there. And so, again, that was one of the things that I wanted them to experience before hopefully it happens. And that's our end goal. Even though we're starting fresh, that's our end goal, is to end in Sulphur.
Look, Coach, we know you've got that mindset of anybody that doesn't plan on Sulphur in May, it shouldn't be out there anyway. And I don't think that's ever an option for you, is to not finish up at Fresh Park.
Yeah, that was the thing, and whatever it takes. And that's what we were talking about, records and winning and all the things. At the end of the day, it's not how you start. I can recall being at another school, and we didn't have a winning record, but we were in the semifinals. And, people they don't understand how to prepare for that. Some people don't. People right. in this world, they do. But, when some people on the outside looking in say, man, they've got 18 losses, or they've got it. It all builds, and you learn from those, games that you lost. And so that's what we're trying to do here, and also try to make it fun. That's one of the things I've learned. It's a grind, but you got to figure out a way to make it fun. And we've been able to do that over the last 6 months of incorporating, building what we needed to do to be successful here. And so we've had a lot of fun, and they enjoy it, and they love being here.
Well, Coach, we definitely enjoyed this time, and you did great as our leadoff hitter for this. Man, this is I'm pleased with the bar that you've set for this. We want to talk to you later in the season as well, and talk as you get closer to district. But we'll see you at some of these early season tournaments. But one last question for you, because you were the leadoff hitter in this. Would you consider yourself, as a leadoff person, a slap hitter or a power hitter?
I'm a power guy. There's nothing small about me, so I'm gonna say power.
There you go. Coach, thank you. We appreciate everything that you've done, and looking forward to what you do with the Lady Vikings there at Avoyelles Charter. So congratulations on that, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you so much, Doug, and go Vikings.